Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
Okay, well, the Skeleton Crew hype train is on the move.
Choo-choo. Yeah, it's left the station now.
Disney has finally decided, you know what? I know that this might not have another season. It's a limited series. Let's, I guess, try and get people to watch
Let's
it, right?
promote the dang thing, yeah.
Even though I'd rather be talking about Andor.
I'd rather be watching Andor.
Speaking of which, don't worry. The Andor Thanksgiving special, it's coming.
Every year, it's a tradition.
Every year until it's done, I guess.
Until the end of time.
No.
My last video ever on YouTube will be an Andor. Just please watch it, and I'm signing off forever.
Signing off.
Not that that's happening anytime soon, but...
Well, back to Skeleton Crew, there was a new TV spot that kind of featured Jude Law's character, Jude Law, and his supposed Jedi connection.
Yeah, he's not a Jedi. I think the little clip, and I'll try to remember to put a link to it in the description below if you want to check it out. But I think the little clip pretty much proves he is not a Jedi. He is trying to deceive the children. That is the vibe I get.
He could still be a Force sensitive, but I agree with you. I don't think he's a Jedi.
No, I mean he would be old enough to be a Clone Wars survivor. He'd probably be about a Padawan age during the Clone Wars.
He would have been young, you're right.
30 years-ish ago. Yeah, he'd be probably 20, maybe a little younger depending on the character age. We know how old Jude Law is, but we don't know how old the character is supposed to be.
You're saying he could be rusty like Kenobi was in the Kenobi show?
In theory, he could be. I mean, maybe he is a Jedi. Maybe he just hasn't been practicing in 30 years at this point. So it is possible he was a Jedi Padawan who gave up on it. Kind of did the Kanan route, but never came back to it because Kanan kind of... And you could also say Cal Kestis as well. Kind of keeping it on the down low and trying to live life. And he never went back to it.
Well, Jude Law did an interview with comicbook.com to kind of talk to him a little bit because comicbook.com... got to see the first 3 episodes, and then they interviewed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, his name is, of course, it's Jude Law, a.k.a. Crimson Jack.
Oh, that's a nice piratey name.
Yar! I'll be Crimson Jack. Take me to the treasure.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Crimson Jack Sparrow is what comes to mind first.
Someone who isn't quite who he appears to be, or is at least good at presenting a different aspect of himself to the world. Well... Yeah, I think he's affiliated with the pirates. I mean, come on, Crimson Jack. Well, Jude Law said, you never know quite who he is, what's true and what isn't true. He's different things to different people. He's just sort of a survivor, a quick-witted, nimble survivor. What was fun was the opportunity to draw of several characters because he's so complicated. He's kind of multifaceted and contradictory. I want to be able to show different sides, different moods. He's a coward at times, sometimes a scoundrel, sometimes a hero, funny, serious, scary, all those things lying in the potential of the role. Which kind of goes along with one of the other interviews we read where the
yesterday, we talked about this.
Have this trust in adults, and then throughout the series they are probably going to learn that adults have problems too, or adults could be lying and stuff like that.
Yeah, adults
Not
do that
exactly
from
what they seem.
Time to time.
So it's interesting that kind of harkens back, because obviously I think our boy... Crimson Jack here is not what he seems. I think by the end he's going to have a heart of gold. I mean, remember, he emulated Han.
I've said it 100 times already.
Han is a scoundrel with a heart of gold.
He will have to face the decision of getting that treasure or helping the kids get home, and he makes the decision to help the kids. Though I would love it if he takes the treasure and the kids end up dying. I think that would be a fantastic ending.
Well, it's interesting because this clip that they showed obviously comes from the beginning of the show where he must save them from the brig. Remember, we saw that little clip of him force sensitive and using the key. Grabbing it, floating it, levitating it, all that good stuff. And they escape. And then the kids are like, we have to go back. We left the droid behind. SM-33, who I was calling Smee because I thought that was a joke on Captain Hook. No, they called him SM-33.
Well, it's still, if you...
It is.
Yeah.
But they're like, we have to go back. And he's like, I'm not going back. And I'm like, okay.
It's just a droid.
Okay. By the end of the show, he'll die for that droid. I can feel it.
Oh, is it going to be like that again? Is it really going to be like just a total 180 where he loves the droid and the kids and he sacrifices himself for all of them?
Yeah, and the kids are arguing, well, you never leave a man behind. It's like Jedi law. And he's like, I don't know. I don't think the Jedi said that.
No, it's not a Jedi saying, but...
It's not exactly a Jedi.
Kind of would fit, yeah.
But one interesting thing Jude Law said, he was talking about how audiences kind of get answers about him later in the series, about his past. He said, what is revealed eventually is his childhood, and how or why he might be Force sensitive, and that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, he's probably Force sensitive.
It's a definite possibility.
I think he was. For all we know, he was trained as a Jedi in his youth, like we were saying before.
Exactly. He had a lot of fun on set, talking about how it was a challenge to be working with like a droid or characters that aren't there or puppets. I imagine that is quite the challenge. Sometimes they had to remind him not to talk to the puppeteers, that he's supposed to be talking to the puppets. It's interesting because at this same day, obviously, there's another interview that came out with StarWars.com, and this one is about Nick Frost, who's playing SM-33. So we got a double dose of interviews. But the role of SM-33, he is a partially malfunctioning droid who reluctantly accompanies the young heroes on their adventure across the galaxy. For those who don't know Nick Frost, and this is kind of fun...
He nips at your nose?
Ha.
No, that's Jack.
Yeah,
sorry.
wrong one. He was in Shaun of the Dead alongside his, longtime friend, Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg, yeah, big Star Wars fan.
Yeah,
has been in Star Wars, yeah.
Unkar Plutt.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, not the most prominent role ever, but he's been in there.
Yeah, so he was excited. I mean, his friend was in it, now he's in Star Wars too. And he said, once they show you what SM-33 looks like, they're like, oh look, he's a mashed up robot and he has a rat in his eye. Oh my god, I'm so in.
A rat in his eye?
Yeah, one of his eyes is missing and apparently there's a critter that lives in his head.
Oh, alright. That's unique. That's different.
It is different. That means he's got a biological component.
I hope they are friends.
Sorry.
What?
That's just funny to me.
Why is that funny?
What if they're not friends?
I mean...
That makes it almost better.
You would think he would just kill the rodent in his head at some point. I'm sure he's capable. Maybe he's been programmed not to harm the rodent and he hates him. That could be fun too.
Frost did seem to particularly enjoy that idea that his character is home to a living being and says that it kind of plays a role in the development of his personality as a droid.
Yeah, see that?
He says, I think a lot of the whimsy that he finds in him is him functioning and kind of enjoying it. I always imagine that it makes his brain tickle and you can hear him laughing to himself in his quarters sometimes at night. A robot with a rat inside its brain. I've been watching films for 50 years and I hadn't seen that. I love the fact that he looks really scary and fearsome, and despite how he looks, the kids still like him. He looks like a horrible pirate, and I think to make him nice and cheeky and lovable and a character that people will warm to, that was a nice thing for me to try to do.
So he's a pirate droid?
Yeah, I guess so. Well,
I'm sure he's not originally a pirate droid, but
maybe
probably
at one
another
time.
function.
Yeah. Well, who knows where this old ship came from? Maybe he's a very old pirate droid.
Who would be
I mean, if
pirate
the ship
droids?
has a map or something to some sort of treasure, then he could be a pirate. An old pirate. What if the rat in his head's a pirate?
Oh my! It could be. I mean, we have
Captain
Weaver Gascow.
Ratface.
We've had little people living in droids before, kind of. So, yeah, could be a.
Well, he wasn't really living in droids. He was just riding around in them.
Yeah, he wasn't really living.
Kind of different.
It was a little
different.
different.
Like the droids still had full autonomy, for the most part.
For the most part, yeah, they were being bossed around by him. But
yes,
some of the best Clone Wars episodes ever. The droid.
Were they?
George Lucas's favorite. Yeah, so he claims
I
at
liked
least
one of them.
The Grogu episode.
Gregor!
Classic.
Everyone loved that one out of that arc.
Yeah.
I think.
No, that was it was a different arc, but the Grogu episode was fun. His final stand. Well, I mean, not final because he doesn't die. No one's ever really gone.
No.
Not even Gregor, who I think got blown up pretty good in that one. But at least he came back kind of, touched by explosions.
He was definitely altered.
Yes. But anyway, on that note, I think that's all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you think of any and all of today's news, and let's talk some Star Wars. And so until next time, thanks for watching.